So before I go into the next song, or spiritual, I also want to share a little bit of my story. I'm originally from Chicago, and I did not understand, even though I grew up during the civil rights and Black Power movement there. I did not know as a child that I was growing up in the lap of history. I was in Chicago when Dr. King came through. My home church was his Chicago headquarters. We marched when Reverend Jackson began to march on behalf of the children who attended school through the Chicago public schools. And they would not expand the schools as they became crowded. Rather than expanding the schools, they would put wagons on the school grounds and use the wagons for classrooms. And so when Reverend Jackson came, and I'm talking about Reverend Jesse Jackson, when he came, he began to have us march against the wagons so that the whole city would understand that they needed to expand and develop our schools. My parents were products of the Great Migration. My father's people came to Chicago from Mississippi. My mother's people came from Tennessee. And I would be an adult. Well, no, that's not quite. My first trip south was in 1966, when I came as part of a church group attending the National Baptist Sunday School Convention in Charlotte. But we were treated in such a way, such a protective way, that the people literally just kept us almost in their bosom. We were at what they called courtesy homes, and they would transport us back and forth in courtesy cars. And so we didn't understand that they were protecting us from the Jim Crow way of life. We didn't understand that until we were grown, because nobody said it. So I'm going to sing this next song with these things in mind, because I'm talking about movement of a people, a way of life that says you protest, you speak up for what is right, and also that we don't necessarily speak out loud about our pain. We hold it and we act it out. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child, a long way from home. a long way from home. Sometimes I feel like a fatherless child. Sometimes I feel like a fatherless child. Sometimes I feel like a fatherless child. A long way from home. A long, long way from home.